Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A piece of open land for recreational use in an urban area. Common to or shared by two or more parties. A common friend. Being or characteristic of or appropriate to everyday language. Common parlance. Commonly encountered. A common, or familiar, complaint. Lacking refinement or cultivation or taste. Behavior that branded him as common. Of or associated with the great masses of people. The common people in those days suffered greatly. Of low or inferior quality or value. Produced the common cloths used by the poorer population. Belonging to or participated in by a community as a whole, public. For the common good. Having no special distinction or quality. Widely known or commonly encountered, average or ordinary or usual. The common man. To be expected, standard. Common decency. A pasture subject to common use. A class composed of persons lacking clerical or noble rank. A piece of open land for recreational use in an urban area. The common people. An area of closely cropped grass surrounding the hole on a golf course. The ball rolled across the green and into the bunker. A piece of open land for recreational use in an urban area. Of the color between blue and yellow in the color spectrum, similar to the color of fresh grass. A green tree. United States labor leader who was president of the American Federation of Labor from 1924 to 1952 and who led the struggle with the Congress of Industrial Organizations, 1873 to 1952. Any of various leafy plants or their leaves and stems eaten as vegetables. Street names for ketamine. Green color or pigment, resembling the color of growing grass. A river that rises in western Wyoming and flows southward through Utah to become a tributary of the Colorado River. Naive and easily deceived or tricked. Not fully developed or mature, not ripe. Fried green tomatoes. An environmentalist who belongs to the Green Party. Looking pale and unhealthy. You're looking green. Turn or become green. The trees are greening. Concerned with or supporting or in conformity with the political principles of the Green Party. A large area of land preserved in its natural state as public property. There are laws that protect the wildlife in this park. A piece of open land for recreational use in an urban area. They went for a walk in the park. Scottish explorer in Africa, 1771 to 1806. A facility in which ball games are played, especially baseball games. Take me out to the ballpark. A lot where cars are parked. A gear position that acts as a parking brake. Put the car in park and got out. Maneuver a vehicle into a parking space. Can you park right here? Place temporarily. Park the car in the yard. Concerning each of two or more persons or things, especially given or done in return. Mutual respect. Common to or shared by two or more parties. The mutual interests of management and labor. A characteristic language of a particular group, as among thieves. Being or characteristic of or appropriate to everyday language. A vernacular term. The everyday speech of the people, as distinguished from literary language. Being or characteristic of or appropriate to everyday language. The vulgar tongue of the masses. Conspicuously and tastelessly indecent. A vulgar gesture. Lacking refinement or cultivation or taste. Appealing to the vulgar taste for violence. Of or associated with the great masses of people. A vulgar and objectionable person. Commonly encountered. The usual greeting. Occurring or encountered or experienced or observed frequently or in accordance with regular practice or procedure. Grew the usual vegetables. Of textures that are rough to the touch or substances consisting of relatively large particles. Coarse meal. Lacking refinement or cultivation or taste. He had coarse manners but a first-rate mind. Of low or inferior quality or value. Of what coarse metal ye are molded. Of stone or timber, shaped roughly without finishing. Lacking refinement or cultivation or taste. Lacking refinement or cultivation or taste. An untutored and uncouth human being. Of or associated with the great masses of people. His square plebeian nose. One of the common people. Of or associated with the great masses of people. The unwashed masses. Not cleaned with or as if with soap and water. A sink full of unwashed dishes. Distributed in portions, often equal, on the basis of a plan or purpose. Have in common. Held or experienced in common. Two shared valence electrons forming a bond between adjacent nuclei. Having or fostering a warm or friendly and informal atmosphere. A relaxed informal manner. Not officially recognized or controlled. An informal agreement. Not formal. Conservative people unaccustomed to informal dress. Used of spoken and written language. Usually followed by, with, well informed about or knowing thoroughly. Familiar with the complex machinery. Having mutual interests or affections, of established friendship. On familiar terms. A spirit, usually in animal form, that acts as an assistant to a witch or wizard. A friend who is frequently in the company of another. A person attached to the household of a high official, as a pope or bishop, who renders service in return for support. Well known or easily recognized. A familiar figure. Within normal everyday experience. Common and ordinary, not strange. Familiar ordinary objects found in every home. Not refined or processed. Unrefined or. Used of persons and their behavior, not refined, uncouth. How can a refined girl be drawn to such an unrefined man? Of humble birth or origins. A topsy-turvy society of low-born rich and blue-blooded poor. Written or printed below and to one side of another character. A character or symbol set or printed or written beneath or slightly below and to the side of another character. Falling short of some prescribed norm. having an orbit between the Sun and the Earth's orbit. Mercury and Venus are inferior planets. Lower than a given reference point. Inferior alveolar artery. Of low or inferior quality. Of or characteristic of low rank or importance. One of lesser rank or station or quality. People in general considered as a whole. He is a hero in the eyes of the public. A body of people sharing some common interest. The reading public. Affecting the people or community as a whole. The public welfare. Not private. Open to or concerning the people as a whole. The public good. For or by a group rather than individuals. Dipping each his bread into a communal dish of stew. Relating to a small administrative district or community. Communal elections in several European countries. Representing or appealing to or adapted for the benefit of the people at large. Democratic art forms. Characterized by or advocating or based upon the principles of democracy or social equality. Democratic government. Belong to or relating to the Democratic Party. Lacking special distinction, rank, or status, commonly encountered. Average people. Compute the average of. Around the middle of a scale of evaluation. An orange of average size. Approximating the statistical norm or average or expected value. The average income in New England is below that of the nation. Amount to or come to an average, without loss or gain. The number of hours I work per work averages out to 40. A statistic describing the location of a distribution. Relating to or constituting the middle value of an ordered set of values, or the average of the middle two in a set with an even number of values. Lacking exceptional quality or ability. A novel of average merit. Relating to or constituting the most frequent value in a distribution. Achieve or reach on average. He averaged AC. An intermediate scale value regarded as normal or usual. He is about average in height. Sports, the ratio of successful performances to opportunities. The modern Greek vernacular. A simplified cursive form of the ancient hieratic script. Of or for the common people. Demotic entertainments. Of or written in or belonging to the form of modern Greek based on colloquial use. A general officer of the highest rank. The head of a religious order or congregation. Of worldwide scope or applicability. A fact about the whole, as opposed to particular. He discussed the general but neglected the particular. Affecting the entire body. A general anesthetic. Applying to all or most members of a category or group. The general public. Command as a general. We are generaled by an incompetent. Not specialized or limited to one class of things. General studies. Prevailing among and common to the general public. The general discontent. Somewhat indefinite. Bearing a general resemblance to the original. Fundamental. The grassroots factor in making the decision. of or involving the common people as constituting a fundamental political and economic group. A grassroots movement for nuclear disarmament. Lacking special distinction, rank, or status, commonly encountered. The ordinary, or common, man in the street. An early bicycle with a very large front wheel and small back wheel. A clergyman appointed to prepare condemned prisoners for death. A judge of a probate court. Heraldry. Any of several conventional figures used on shields. Not exceptional in any way, especially in quality or ability or size or degree. Ordinary everyday objects. The expected or commonplace condition or situation. Not out of the ordinary. Representing or appealing to or adapted for the benefit of the people at large. A democratic or popular movement. Of music or art, new and of general appeal, especially among young people. Carried on by or for the people, or citizens, at large. The popular vote. Regarded with great favor, approval, or affection, especially by the general public. A popular tourist attraction. A basis for comparison. A reference point against which other things can be evaluated. The schools comply with federal standards. Any distinctive flag. Conforming to the established language usage of educated native speakers. Standard English. The ideal in terms of which something can be judged. They live by the standards of their community. The value behind the money in a monetary system. Regularly and widely used or sold. A standard size. A board measure equals 1980 board feet. An upright pole or beam, especially one used as a support. Distance was marked by standards every mile. Commonly used or supplied. Standard procedure. Conforming to or constituting a standard of measurement or value, or of the usual or regularized or accepted kind. Windows of standard width. Established or well-known or widely recognized as a model of authority or excellence. A standard reference work. Be a regular or frequent visitor to a certain place. Do one's shopping at. Do business with. Be a customer or client of. Coming at short intervals or habitually. A frequent guest. Frequently encountered. A frequent, or common, error is using the transitive verb, lay, for the intransitive, lie. Marijuana leaves rolled into a cigarette for smoking. Provide with a joint. The carpenter jointed 2 pieces of wood. Anatomy. The point of connection between 2 bones or elements of a skeleton, especially if it allows motion. A piece of meat roasted or for roasting and of a size for slicing into more than one portion. The shape or manner in which things come together and a connection is made. A disreputable place of entertainment. Affecting or involving 2 or more. Joint income tax return. Fasten with a joint. Fit as if by joints. Involving both houses of a legislature. A joint session of Congress. Junction by which parts or objects are joined together. Separate, meet, at the joint. United or combined. A joint session of Congress.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.